So it's the next day, and once again, I feel that I wish the quality of everything about the video was better. But right now, I just need to take the content of my life experience and place it in a container and send it out into the space outside of me. Expression is what I need right now. So, what was I thinking about? I wanted to talk about how I mentioned the demiurge yesterday, and I said how when I heard about that story, it just fit everything that doesn't make sense to me about the Christian story. And I don't know if I heard correctly or if I understood correctly, but I feel like I heard that the Masons have that as their origin story that they use. That might not be a thing, but then I realized if that is a thing, that would be why the Masonic symbol with the that they use of I have the freaking thing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The geometric tool that can trace circles, and then the right angle ruler popped into my brain when I was trying to pray to the Holy Spirit, and it's on video. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm it doesn't inspire confidence and trust in the Holy Spirit to me when I close my eyes and I pray and I see that symbol. I'm like, what do you want me to do with that? Do you know what I'm trying to say? And then I wanted to mention, when I went to the store the other day, and I got protein bars. I found protein bars on a sale after I was trying to see if maybe I could pray to the Holy Spirit, and maybe because you can't somebody once said in order to to find out if you can trust someone, you have to interact with it from a place of them not letting you down, and see if they don't let you down. And I was so that was I guess the logic, and it was I'm just gonna pray to the Holy Spirit as I walk into this store. Please let me buy only what I need and not anything else. And some things happened on the way there, and while I was there, that I didn't mention because I didn't have time either to mention it or because I forgot to mention it in the video that I made a few days ago. So, what was happening? That was a metanoia day where I was open to the idea of Christianity being true, and I was exploring it from a place of actually trying to interact with it and bringing my heart. Okay, it wasn't a scientific inquiry vibe. And Easter had just happened, and I was just I think what happened was I was in my activated subconscious child memories of religion being part of my family's life, and cultural life, and so I think that also was activated, and so I was in this emotionally vulnerable state is what I think, because I'm I can't do an actual inquiry when I am a human being experiencing a bunch of people getting really excited over a story that I heard since I'm a child, and those memories are associated with being a child, being with my mom and dad when I was a kid, and it was that feeling. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's very potent shit. I had the thought come up while I was doing the dishes, where the Jesuits have this phrase that if you give them a child until the age of 5, 6, or 7, and you allow them to teach them the Christian message that they would want to teach them, they'll have a Christian for life. Meaning that your subconscious, this is psychology now, psychology experts, I don't know what to call it, psychologists, the field of psychology as it currently is, says that a human being, from the time they're born until about the time of 5, 6, or 7 years old, their subconscious mind is just simply taking in everything from its environment without having the ability to uh, like have any logical evaluation of what is coming in. So like there's this book called 1984 written by George Orwell, and one of the main ideas in that book that a lot of people know is the idea of doublethink. Doublethink, when a person can have a thought and have a diametrically opposing thought. So like a thought that is the opposite of that thought, that would cancel out that thought. A human being, a human mind has the ability to hold two thoughts that actually cancel each other out if you're speaking like in terms of mathematics. But the human mind will hold those two thoughts without any problem, because the human mind is not it's not like an algebraic like thinking thing. The human mind is just like a container, and you can put stuff in there, and these two thoughts will have completely like opposing meanings that should cancel each other out, but they all just sit in there. And the human being, unless they have been taught by someone or unless they have a natural instinct for logic, they will just literally like not notice that they have two thoughts that completely don't allow the other like to be, because it's like you either believe this or that because logic, right? But the human mind doesn't need that. You can just have like two, and it'll just be able to go back and forth between these two statements, and it won't have any like difficulty doing like having a problem with that, because it's not inherently like running logic. It's just a container, you know? I don't know why that felt like it's something I need to bring up. I forgot my original thought, but the point is, also the thing I wanted to bring up from that book as well, might as well right now, like 2 plus 2 equals 4, not 5, is also like a famous thought from that book. Because the point of Big Brother, the point of 1984 is to gaslight and to train people to disregard actual reality that they can perceive in favor of like a story of reality that someone else wants them to have in their mind, because that would enable that person's agenda, whoever like the overlord is. And the point of like pushback, or the point of like resistance to that kind of insanity, is saying like 2 plus 2 equals 4, not 5. But like Big Brother and like the overlord culture wants to sell you 2 plus 2 equals 5, and it will like train you through violence to be motivated to make like a to have your mind go crazy, to have like insanity happen. Like they essentially activate insanity inside of yourselves by making you, through violence, like an animal, be motivated to let go of the fact that you know that like, you feel me, like 2 plus 2 equals 4 is not like a mysticism. It's just like 2 means like 2 items. That's what it means. 4 means there's like 2 items and 2 items. You bring them together, there's 4 items. That's all it means, right? But a lot of people like, there's a lot of things like that. There's a lot of, all of reality essentially is like this. It starts like this. Do you feel me? And then it just gets more and more. It just gets more and more. Like this is easy to deal with. 2 and 2, 4. But like everything is that. The whole point of logic is nothing ever falls through the cracks. There are no cracks. The only cracks that there may be are from like people not having an education that like enabled their ability for logic to develop, so they don't like have they just don't know. Do you know what I mean? And they don't know to use it. Like they're just kind of like clueless, you know? They're just kind of like, they don't know. Their intelligence is sleeping. Like they don't know. Do you know? They weren't like activated intellectually. They don't know. Or through violence, through fear, people are motivated to disregard like logic for some other for some like fear-based like purpose or idea. Sometimes it's, I think, just like not wanting to lose your family culture tradition, or like to make them upset because they'll get angry even if you're like not upset about like dealing with actual reality. And so I'm getting some kind of like teaching vibe coming through right now. I don't know what's happening. Because I was gonna talk about how after I made the video about the demiurge, I was doing the dishes, and then there were like, I want to be clear, like I live in this world, and I'm talking about these crazy spiritual things, and it's not like a fun game for me. It scares the fuck out of me, and I am not happy to be alive, not because I want to be dead, but because I am so scared of what I have to deal with as a human being consciousness. Like my position as a human being, and any human being's position in this world in existence is so fucking precarious and fucking powerless. It's so like inherently victim like that like it scares the fuck out of me. And it's just that most people aren't like aware. I want to complete this one thought actually because before I go back to the demiurge, because I think this is something that like most people have never heard of, because there is no class in school called logic, like standardized teaching about logic that everyone can just benefit from. It's like it does not exist. And so I have this idea over and over again to like make something like that, to be like when I discovered reason through a certain like set of like experiences, I was like, why did no one teach me this? Like I'm smart in terms of school systems and their standardized tests because I'm naturally like thoughtful, possibly because of like my parents being that way, you know? I'm not trying to claim like I'm so, no, I'm just saying like it's just how I happen to be. But it's like if you didn't teach me certain things, I don't know about them. And there's certain clarities like clean the idea of like, you know how like kids can have like little train car sets, and you have you ever like put together like a, you know, like a toy train, and you put down the tracks so that the train can actually move along those tracks, right? So it's like I'm inherently not dim, like I have some intellectual ability from nature, but you teaching me, it's like you opening a box called logic and laying down the tracks so that my mind can actually go along those tracks and understand like how it works. That is something that I'm not going to be able to think of as a child out of nothing, especially when the adults around me aren't making it into a big deal. And I think the world would just be like 40% better if everyone experienced like a logic class in school from like the grade 4. And so I just have this idea of like making that like as like a thing that people can use, because it's like you think like it's obvious, like it's not obvious. It's super simple, so it makes you disregard it, and it's like, yeah, but if when you apply it to life a little bit, your life starts to like sing and have power. And as I'm saying that, I'm hearing like the irony of like what I've been going through recently, because I've been under some kind of weird attack, like consciousnesses are attacking me, and I know that that's what's happening, and I don't know how to understand it because there's no spiritual framework that I can like just kind of like click into and be like, like this is like, you know, like there's Buddhism, there's like all these different fucking religions, and I'm like, I don't know what this framework is that I can be like, okay, guys, like here's the framework that like explains, that labels all these parts of my experience, and like explains like the system of what's happening, so that I can just tell you like, hi, like what's happening in my life is this right here, right now, and like that's why the difficulties. So I'm just like, I don't know, and then tons of people don't even regard like accept the idea of like the possibility of life being active in like invisible ways, because I'm like, I'm not trying like the word spiritual, I'm like, I just don't have a different word. I like to use the word invisible sometimes. I'm like, I'm not talking about spirituality. I don't give a fuck about ancient texts. I'm just talking about like there's something happening that is active on my physical actual experience and my mental experience that is like invisible, but it's conscious and it's doing stuff. And it sounds like, oh, bitch, you're crazy. I'm like, but I'm not. Like, all of religion is that. There's billions of people. Most people, I feel like, on the planet claim that they believe in God. And like, if they do, they're saying there's invisible stuff going on that they regard as real. And I'm like, that's all I'm saying. You feel me? Anyway, should I bring it up? It's a thought that came to mind. What's the point of it? I need to speak before this video has no more like room. So I looked up. The point is, everything in reality with this thing is an existence in physical reality. It's like an object, and each object has an identity, and all those identities have a meaning for every other identity or object, like law of identity from Aristotle. Okay, just like A equals A, and so it's like if something is if fire is fire, and then there's water, which is water. Water on fire makes the fire go out. Now, if you want to go into like spiritual, like Spiridon, the saint of Orthodox Christianity, who's like, I can make fire not go out if you pour water on it. I'm like, I understand. But like Christian mysticism and sainthood, I'm like, I have no idea who this God is of yours, because he might be the demiurge giving you guys power, because he's the one who created all this shit. And that's the idea that I'm trying to like be like, I don't care really if Prophet Lovi can make people walk. Because I'm like, maybe you're doing that because the demiurge is like making you do miracles so people come to Jesus, who is his like son that he may die for him. Now, this is not the Gnostic story. Because the point is, yesterday I was doing the dishes and I was like, I'm going to hear about the demiurge, because I was just passing along an information about the demiurge, but it's not like I'm an expert on it. So then I looked up some videos. I found the video that I originally saw that